These corporate brands are all about playing on your nostalgia, even to things that you liked like 4 or 5 years ago. They know that you remember them fondly, and that they can, I guess, use those brands to try to manipulate you into coming back. It's a big drug addiction cycle, is really what it is, and it's a brainwashing sort of situation. But I've got a book all about brainwashing coming up. What a transition. In just a few days here, I'm launching Overmind on Tuesday, May 24th on Kickstarter. It is a brand new story, and actually it's about an AI that's brainwashing a population through their internet type of reality. And then, of course, turning them into zombies. It's kind of like what corporate entertainment's trying to do to you. But you know better, and you're waking up, much like our special agent Ayla Rin, who is going to be putting a stop to this in this awesome graphic novel. So I'll put this link in the description below, along with all of my other links. So if you guys want to check out and support my comics, you can do so. And thanks for doing so. You can sign up right here, this green button, notify me on launch. I'll let you know. All right. The news today is that Disney is reinventing itself again and resurrecting Daredevil. Now, Daredevil was a fantastic show. Everybody loved it when it came out. They really showed what the superhero genre could do on TV. Everybody'd been seeing CW shows for years and being like, gosh, is this all they can do with superheroes? Just turn them into teen romance dramas? But no, Daredevil broke that mold. Was exciting. It was interesting. Was back to action adventure. It was, of course, pretty dark. But, it led the way for a lot of Netflix series that really did pretty well and that were almost universally loved. There were a couple points where it was a little worse than the others, but this was the peak, really, I think, of Disney's Marvel, I'd say, TV universe. Now, since Disney's made Disney Plus, they've attempted to bring in that cinematic universe mojo that's made them so much money into these different shows. But the problem is they really just don't hit the mark. I don't know who's writing for Disney or who's producing for Disney and why they can't get it like these Netflix producers did. But everything's kind of just been a little off to the point where it's like, maybe it's okay, maybe it's less than okay, but it doesn't hit the mark. It's got weird social justice vibe to it. It's got everything that we've been warning about coming through Disney for years, and now maybe those are failing a little bit. We saw the reaction to She-Hulk coming out the other day, that people are just looking like they're fed up with this kind of content. So it makes sense that Disney's now trying to push anything they can to resurrect these brands, and Daredevil is it. So they've already got the actor Charlie Cox back and ready for the role, and they hired a couple new writers, and these new writers come from action dramas. It always is interesting to me that they never, when they do these reboots or new shows and all that with these properties, they never go for science fiction writers, or they never go for comic writers or people who have written for these comic shows before. It's very bizarre. It's like, okay, well, let's do something more for a general audience and get away from the superhero stuff. But at the same time, they're banking on you to come in for the superhero stuff. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But they did. They hired 2 action adventure writers who have never written for superheroes before to revamp Daredevil and bring it back to Disney Plus. It's a total nostalgia play, and it totally tells me that their brands are syncing with their new stuff, which is not relating to anyone. Nobody really is like, yes, I want more WandaVision. That was so amazing. Yeah, there were parts of it that were interesting, but it really didn't hit close to home. They didn't make characters that you really cared about in it. Nobody's out there going, yes, I want more female Loki or more crazy Moon Knight. No, it's those all kind of have just been like, I could have not watched that. I could have left it. But unfortunately, Disney isn't going to take their lessons from what this is. And here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to bring back the same actors, try to bring you the same nostalgia from Daredevil, but they're going to bring in a completely different team that's more in that Disney mindset. And that Disney mindset's all about degeneracy. It's all about, representation matters. And of course, pushing political agendas rather than actually trying to push their shows. If you look at what they're doing now, it's all about replacing the Avengers that everybody knew and loved and trying to bait and switch the customers for all these strong female leads or gay leads or minority leads that are really not as interesting as characters, and they're all ham-fisted, just terrible diversity tokens. I'm gonna see a lot more of this in Daredevil. Of course, you can't do it with the character if you're recasting the same guy. But what they'll do is they'll sneak in a strong female lead, probably Elektra or something like that, who's even better than Daredevil, and he's just gonna fail except for her. That's typically how it goes. Oh, well. What do you think about this? Are you going to watch this? Are you going to be interested in this? This is, by the way, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video. I'm starting to work for this Bounding Into Comics site now. I use their articles a lot for my videos because they're so great. But they've seen what I'm doing here, and they seem to like what I'm doing here. And so I'm actually going to be doing write-ups for this site for the foreseeable future. And they're honestly the best source in entertainment news, and I'm very, very happy to be on with them. And I hope you'll check out their website and start getting your entertainment news from there as well. Okay. Leave a comment down below with what you think. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll be back soon.